We're going to skip the countdown today because it's been too long since we've done another Allied Rivals podcast. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is AJ Herschel, also known as The Kid, and y'all already know I'm back here with my man, lightningbauer, who is still searching for a nickname. So be sure to comment down below on what it should be. Cademan, my man, how's it going?
It's been a pretty good week. Really, and not just in sports, although sports was good, but all around school and everything. Finals are next week, so that's a little bit stressful, but they're not like totally finals. They're like, I don't know. They changed it up a little bit this year, but
okay.
Everything's pretty good. Packers won, Seahawks lost. Packers have the 2 seeds, so couldn't be more happy.
Nice. Very nice. Pretty good. I got most of my finals done, which has been awesome. I've still got some Spanish homework I got to finish up, but everything else I am done until January. Super excited about that. And just kind of been trying to get finished like 2 days ago. So just trying to get back into being a normal human stuck inside again. So that should be an interesting time. Got books to read, movies to watch, and one of my favorite bands dropped a new album. So pretty good week, all things considered. Pretty good week. But Cademan, you have a new thing for us, which was recommended to us by one of our listeners, lightningbauer. Thank you so much for the idea. We're pulling his out of the hat. Be sure to let us know what other ideas on videos that you should let us do. Before we get into it, there is one big piece of news that I did just want to get your opinion on, Cademan. So the big rivalry college football, one of the biggest, there's obviously a bunch. South Carolina, Clemson, Alabama, Auburn, Georgia, Florida, we all know it. But Ohio State, Michigan, one of the biggest, and it is officially canceled due to the Michigan Wolverines having too many COVID protocols. And while Michigan season is already lost and gone, this now means Ohio State cannot make the Big Ten championship, meaning it will be Northwestern versus Indiana for the fate of the Big Ten. Cademan, does this kill Ohio State's college football playoff hopes, or do you think there's still a chance the committee puts Justin Fields and company in?
There's obviously always the chance, but you're kind of missing this big Big Ten championship game, and that's kind of like a really big deal. And oh man, it'll be hard to come back from that and do well in the playoffs or make them. And I don't know. I feel really bad for them, honestly.
Yeah, it's a rough time. I don't know, unless the Big Ten has, of course, thrown around the idea that they might change some of the rules. Brett D in the comment section already. What's up, man? Says they might change the rule for the amount of games he played for the title. Do you think they should do that, Cademan, for Ohio State's sake, or do you think that feels cheap to the other teams in the Big Ten?
I think, honestly, it's a bummer for Ohio State, obviously, but I think that would be a little bit cheap for all the other teams. So I don't think they should do that just for the one team.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Granted, the Big Ten might do it just to get a team into the CFP, because Bama's just about punched their ticket, as has Clemson and Notre Dame. So it's really just going to come down to who ends up getting that last spot. College football playoff stuff is tonight. They're going to be releasing another top 25 rankings, and hopefully soon down the pipeline, we'll have more NFL and college football videos as well. Brett D is in favor of them at letting Ohio State have a shot at the title, despite the fact they have not played enough games. Interesting take, my man. Well, Cademan, how about you explain the main point of our episode today? We're going to try to keep this one around a half hour.
Yeah. So we did a pull the team out of the hat a while ago with, I believe we had our guest Peter Handy. lightningbauer suggested that we do something similar to that, where we pull a position out of the hat and then we state our who we think is the best, who has been the best so far this year in that position. So tonight we'll do part 1 of skills, and I'll pull a couple out. AJ will pull 1 or 2 out, and then we'll finish it up with a part 2 sometime probably this week. And then in the future, we'll also have an episode where we pull position out of the hat for linemen.
And
so
hopefully special teams.
And hey, that's a great idea as well.
Let's go. All right.
Awesome.
Sounds good. Well, Cademan, do you want to get us started off then? How about you pull your first skill position out of the hat? So this means no offensive lineman, no defensive lineman. So I'm sorry, Aaron Donald is not going to be featured in this video. And also this does mean for all of you hoping for the long snapper rankings and the fullback rankings, that's not going to happen today.
Yeah. All right. Well, I did just pull it out of my lovely Brewers hat.
Nice.
We have tight end.
Ooh, very nice.
Very nice. Adrian, would you like to start us off with who has been the best tight end so far after week 13?
All right. So for me, I don't think it's even close, and it's not even fair. It's Travis Kelce. It's not even close. He blows everybody else out of the water. George Kittle would of course be up there, but he's out for the rest of the year unless somehow the 49ers bring him back and bring in a Terminator version of him. But other than that, it's Kelce. Andrews has been iffy this year. Tanyan's had a good year for a tight end, but he's been up and down. Jimmy Graham isn't getting targets anymore. Eric Ebron, to be fair, has had a resurrection of his career. He has had 11 targets in back-to-back games. Big Ben trusts him. He's a red zone threat. Rob Gronkowski also has done a lot better. But Travis Kelce is literally the man who can do absolutely everything. He can catch, he can run, he can block. He is Mahomes' number one option, arguably with Tyreek Hill. I would love to have more competition this year, but so far, no one else has been consistent this year. It's not even close. And with Kittle out, Kelce runs away with the title of best tight end with me, far and away best tight end. What about you, David?
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously, just looking at the stats, I mean, so you have Travis Kelce as the first tight end on just the amount of receptions. He has 82 currently, and he is second on receiving yards. Just for any, out of the whole NFL, only ahead of him is DK Metcalf.
Oh my
by
goodness.
5 yards.
That's
5
crazy.
yards.
God.
So Travis Kelce is doing really well. And the amazing thing is you also have Tyreek Hill there, who also has over 1,000 yards. But then you also, and then going to receiving touchdowns, he is second on the list for tight ends. Only one ahead of him is Robert Tonyan. And while he's had a great season, he and also Darren Waller are not up there yet. Both Robert Tonyan and Darren Waller have things they're really good at, and Travis Kelce's just kind of good at all of it. So, and he's really, really led the offense. I mean, obviously with Patrick Mahomes, but he's a huge factor. So,
right. Yeah, we
no
got
no other option.
We got two comments here. Brett says Kittle, and I think it's just the injury disqualifies him from the list this year, right? Last year would be a different story, but this year I think no. And yeah, Darren Waller is also really good. He has been a big part of that Raiders offense, but I think that makes Kelce's numbers and his stats even better because the Chiefs have so many weapons, and yet he's still one of the top receivers in football, period. It's crazy.
Yep. Yeah, you can definitely make a case for Darren Waller because he's kind of like the main receiver on the Raiders. Sorry.
This should be in Oakland, Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, and you can make an argument for that because Travis Kelce also has Tyreek Hill, so it's not just him, but still, Travis Kelce really dominates the game, and all his stats are better than Darren Waller's, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
Travis Kelce.
Well, next one. Do you mind if I pull one out?
Go ahead.
I got defense. I got Chicago Bulls. Unfortunately, we're doing nothing in free agency this year. But let's figure out what's going to happen here. Cademan, we're going to be talking about cornerbacks. One of the most important positions in defense. I have a feeling I know who you're going to say. But how about you start us off, Cademan? Who's your top cornerback?
I might say Xavier Howard. Honestly, he has, I believe, 8 interceptions. I'll check up on that real fast. Yeah, he has 8 interceptions, and there's a lot of other guys with like 7, or one other guy with 7, 5, 4. But he's really a lockdown guy in the Dolphins defense. And when you look at guy with 7, J.C. Jackson, he has also Stephon Gilmore and other guys in the secondary that help him. So it's not like he's all alone. Tyrann Mathieu on the Chiefs, he has other guys, Carlton Davis. All these other guys with that are even up there with him in interceptions also have other guys helping them in the secondary. Xavier Howard really has made the Dolphins secondary what it is at this point. He also has multiple tackles for loss. And here, just a second. Brad D says Jair Alexander is mine. You can also make a case for him. He's also been phenomenal. He's my number 2. But going back to Xavier Howard, he is really. I need to check up on this. Well, at least I think like 2 weeks ago, I saw his completion percentage was like 60 or so. And that's a really, really good completion percentage, way better than every other cornerback. So, yeah, mine is Xavier Howard, AJ, but how about you?
Yeah, I think for me it's gonna be Xavier Howard as well. And I think part of it is just the fact that he's just been absolutely out of this world in a Miami defense that coming into the year, nobody thought was going to be this good. Like, it's not, oh my goodness, he's been so incredible. He's a ball hawk. He's just such an incredible player, plays all the way across the field. And yeah, Jair Alexander, I think he's another guy you can absolutely make a case for. Very, very talented, definitely a shutdown corner. I think the thing for me between him and Xavier Howard is that he hasn't played the full season as much, was out against Houston, and Xavier Howard's got the interceptions as well to help prove it. So I'll go with you on this one. I'll say Xavier Howard in the Miami Dolphins defense, especially since they've had some tough opponents this year. They have not had an easy route to the playoffs. But, man, Miami, Brian Flores, and Xavier Howard, big leaders there. I'll agree with you on that.
Awesome. Well, I'll pull my let's see what I got here. I have wide receiver.
Ooh.
So this one's gonna get pretty. We could have some arguments here, but AJ, why don't you start us off here?
Yeah, this is tough. Let's get that out of the way first. The NFL is filled with so many wide receivers right now. It's so hard to say, and I think you can make a case for quite a few of them. I think you can make a case for Keenan Allen's been a target monster this year. His catch rate is absolutely incredible. He's a jump ball receiver. He's strong. It's incredible. I think another person you can make a case for is Stephon Diggs. He just eats yards all the time. Another person you can make a case for, Davante Adams, probably the best route runner in the NFL today. Another guy you can make a case for. I think you've got to go with what's the guy I'm thinking of? I'm so sorry, my mind. DeAndre Hopkins, best jump ball receiver in the NFL today. But to me, for me, it's hard because his stats may be a little bit skewed from the beginning of the year, but DK Metcalf has just looked insane this year. And the fact that he's played a full season kind of puts him over a couple of other people for me, but he's just absolutely insane. He's big. He's a jump ball receiver. He trucks people. He's not afraid to get into your face. He's nowhere near as good as a route runner as Davante Adams is, but he's bigger and stronger. And while DeAndre might be better at the deep ball, I do think that this year alone, DK Metcalf has made more plays. And especially in an offense where Russell Wilson can give it to him, can give it to Lockett. We know he likes to throw to his tight ends in a very balanced offense. DK Metcalf has been outstanding, incredibly explosive, and he's had to go up against tough defenses and tough corners multiple times. He has had a problem of the drops in the past couple weeks, which me, as a DK Metcalf person in fantasy football, pains me. That really hurts. But just especially one thing I do want to give respect. This is a gap from a first to a second year wide receiver. I can't remember the last person who made this kind of improvement in his second season in the NFL since maybe Julio Jones. So look, I've said before this year, I would have said DeAndre Hopkins, but he's been hobbled. He's been banged up. I would say Davante Adams. He hasn't played a full season, even though his stats are still great despite that. For me, I'm going to go with DK Metcalf. He's just doing things that some other guys, oh my goodness, just haven't done this year.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with my man Davante Adams, as I'm sure
Really? No way.
You all guess. So, yeah. So he only has a few receptions less than Keenan Allen and Stephon Diggs, and he's only played, I believe, 10 games this season so far. He's only like less than 100 receiving yards under DK Metcalf. He's number one in yards.
My bad. I was trying to remove me from the screen.
Oh no, you good. He is number one in yards per game, receiving yards per game, and he's number one in receiving touchdowns, tied with Tyreek Hill. While DK Metcalf has been really, really good and been really helpful to Russell Wilson, probably the best deep ball receiver in the league. Davante Adams' stats, like yards per game especially, is the one I'm looking at, and touchdowns, and that he missed, and even receptions, that he is up there and missed 2 games and is still like top few in each of those stats. So I really have to go Davante Adams, and I think we're going to actually end up seeing him leading receiving yards, receiving touchdowns, and receptions at the end of the season.
Yeah, Adams is great. The reason why I went DK over him is because I do think that DK has a little bit of harder time getting targets sometimes. As we've seen, he has less targets and less catches than Davante Adams and still more yards. And yes, Adams, of course, absolutely incredible, great route runner. I do think he has had the benefit of a very easy schedule, and B, Aaron Rodgers peppering him with targets like nobody's business, which, hey, my fantasy team ain't complaining. My 2 shares of Davante Adams ain't complaining about that. Super happy about that. But yeah, it's just part of it to me is just that I look at his schedule and it's like he's played the Lions. He got the Vikings twice. He got the Eagles. He got the Jaguars. And like every time I look at it, it's just his stats might be a little bit inflated, but that's like nitpicking for me. Adams is still incredible. Great route runner, great hands. But, you know, Metcalf is mine. They're both great receivers, though.
Yeah. And I think I would, Brett D says Hopkins over Adams over DK over Hopkins. And I think I would change that to, no, I might keep that the same, except, no, I think I would change out Hopkins for Stephon Diggs maybe, because he's been
incredible,
the go-to guy for the Bills, receptions, yards, touchdowns. He's been all over the place. So
yeah. And real quick, can we just give a little bit of respect to Reek the Freak, able to catch as many passes as he does with Kelsey and Watkins and everybody else there, and also Mr. Justin Jefferson, who I think right now is running away with Rookie of the Year. Respect to both of them. Like, we rarely see rookie 1,000-yard receivers who are the number 2 passing option in the offense. So respect to both of them too. Incredible job by them.
Yep. Very true. AJ, you want to finish us up with one final defensive skills position?
Yes, sir. Today we're going to finish it off with Bam. Too far. Safety. Very difficult position to judge. Cademan, start us off. Who is your number 1 safety as of right now in the NFL?
This is really hard. So you could make I don't know. You could make a case for many guys. One of them would be like someone on the Bears or someone on the Buccaneers. It's really hard to know at this point. But I might go with like. Oh, sorry. Just a second.
You good?
Let me mute myself.
If you need a second, I can go ahead and take mine if you want. All right. Well, while he's rebooting something, just
sorry, I'm good.
All right, we're good. Go ahead then. Go ahead.
No, tell everyone something first.
All right, really quick, just a reminder to everyone. Lightning Bauer, thank you so much for the suggestion. Brett D, if you got any stuff that you want us to talk about as well, be sure to leave that in the comment section. We will try to get to that as well. We also have an MLB free agency video down in the works eventually, also suggested by one of our viewers. So be sure to comment your ideas for videos as well. We do take them. And anybody who's watching the replay too. Anybody's watching the replay too. Cademan, continue.
Yep. Okay, so as I was saying, you can make a case for numerous guys with safety. It's not as definite as with corner, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But I think at least one of the guys that has stood out to me so far, and you might disagree with this, AJ, or you might say someone that I hadn't even thought about.
Mm-hmm.
But man, just a second, sorry. Jamal Adams, he's looked really good, and he has been like the one guy in the Seahawks secondary that you can put a little bit of faith in.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like going with anyone from the Vikings because they have each other, like Harrison Smith and Anthony Harris, and they haven't even been great. I mean, they've been okay, but I might make a case for Tyrann Mathieu maybe because he has a ton of interceptions. He has been really good, especially covering the deep ball. Just like a lockdown guy in the Chiefs secondary. Yeah, so I might go Tyrann Mathieu just because he's kind of also – I mean, Jamal Adams is really the one guy in the Seahawks secondary, but Tyrann Mathieu, even though he hasn't had a ton of help, like he's had help, he hasn't had a ton of help. He's really been good for like balls broken up. I think this guy knows how to tackle, like one of the best safeties to tackle. Not safeties, to tackle. What am I trying to say, AJ? You know what I'm trying to say? He is one of the best tackling safeties in the NFL.
There you go.
For sure. Like, no question about that. He is a really physical guy, does not let the ball get past him. I've definitely noticed he knows where he's supposed to be on the field. Mm-hmm. He's just a team leader as well, so anyone would want Tyrann Mathieu on their team. But, AJ, what do you got, man?
I think I'm going to have to agree with you on this one. And I see in the comment section, Brett D bringing up Budda Baker. Yes. And this is the tough thing about safeties and cornerbacks. It's really easy to tell who's going to be the top quarterback, running back, wide receiver, because they're going to get production. It's really easy to find out who's going to be the best linebacker, defensive end, because they're going to get the most sacks, they're going to get the most tackles. But corner and safety are very, very difficult because eventually, if a guy is so good, you ain't going to throw it to him. The reason why the Seahawks stats were always so good back when Legion of Boom was great is because you had Chance. So you had E.T., Earl Thomas III, and Richard Sherman. So who else were you going to throw to? You had to hit someone. And eventually when they started dissolving, Richard Sherman's stats started going down, especially as he went to San Francisco. As A, he got older, and B, people stopped throwing it to you. When you're so good, they're going to stop. If they take away your number one option, then you're not going to throw it to him anymore. So that's why I think Budda Baker isn't number one this year. He's been very good. Yes, he did have the almost pick six. Thank you, DK Metcalf, against the Seattle Seahawks. But it didn't happen, and he's only had 2 picks on the year. I'm going to go with the Honey Badger here. And I have probably been the biggest proponent of Harrison Smith throughout my life. I love the man. I think a lot of the problems the Vikings are having in defending the passing game has been at cornerback. They've been injured, they've been banged up, and they have not had a great year there. Harrison Smith is really the one lock. He's almost like a different version of Jamal Adams, who doesn't necessarily play everywhere on the field, but he's still hard hitting. He will intercept you, and I think he's been underrated his entire career. But the Honey Badger's got 5 interceptions. You never want to throw to him. He's a hard hitter. He's been around the league forever. He's smart, and he's a leader in the locker room. So I'm going to agree with you and go with Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger from Kansas City.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Well, we got Brett D here, and he says, when the NFL playoffs are set, you should do playoff predictions.
Oh, come on, man. Of course.
Yeah, Brett, you can definitely expect a video
y'all already know
for that.
And if you want to know when they finally drop, that's when you got to subscribe, and that's when you got to hit the notification bell. very smooth into shilling for our channel there. But yeah, be sure everyone to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell and stuff. Lightning Bauer, Brett D, thank you guys so much for coming to the comment section. Always great when we have people here. Everybody watching afterwards, thank you guys so much. Be sure to leave comments on what you thought. Cademan, this has been a fun example, a fun exercise. Thank you, Lightning Bauer, for the idea. We will absolutely do more of these. We're going to do quarterbacks. We're going to do running backs. And hopefully I will get my fullback tier list, and I can finally give my thoughts on my favorite fullback of all time. All right. But until then, Cademan, do you have anything else to finish us off with?
Let's just finish it off with our verse for the week. We were doing this in Bible class this week, so I just saw, hey, this is a good verse. So I was like, and I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers. He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel. Genesis 3:15. So this verse kind of starts off by saying that basically all of Adam and Eve's offspring are going to be like hostile to Satan, or just all serpents in general. And but I think the really cool part about this verse is it says, he will crush your head and you will strike his heel. He is the offspring of Eve. And so this is just kind of pointing forward to when Jesus basically defeats death, and when he defeats Satan, which he has defeated death and Satan, but there's still more to come. So I think it's just a really cool verse about Jesus and God's power over death and Satan. So he will crush your head and you will strike his heel. Yeah, that's all I got.
Well, sounds good to me. That's going to wrap us up for another episode. And to everyone who's watching the replay, be like Brett D. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Don't be a Packers fan, but go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We will see you guys next time, unless you got something else to say.
I actually think you should be a Packers fan, but also expect a theme song coming soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yes, sir. Yep. All right. Well, everyone, we will see you guys next time. Be sure to sub to the channel and let everybody know about the greatest podcast in town on general sports. Hitting 100 subscribers soon. We're looking for it. So be sure to sub to the channel. We will see you guys next time on the one and only Allied Rivals podcast. Catch you guys later.